Hello, everybody. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We have just found that Mr. GRAYDON's wound on his arm is opened up, so let us continue on with the conversation here. Don't acknowledge my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever. Those were my terms, remember, and I paid you handsomely to comply. Clearly, I was a fool to think I could trust some common back slum thieves. Fine. I admit it. I was there in Winterbanks that night. I paid this pair of 10 guineas to accompany me, and you've noticed I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures. But that is all. I admit to nothing more. Stealing government secrets? Negotiating with Mr. McGilded? As God is my witness, I'm sure I recall nothing of the sort. He's not going to go down without a fight. Not until I can show hard evidence, I suppose. Nevertheless, the defense has now established a crucial fact. Which is... well, we know that one bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms we have in evidence. The bullet from the Skulking Brothers hit the pouch of Mr. Sholm's waist. The bullet from Mr. Winterbank's gun clearly must have been the one that caught Mr. GRAYDON in the arm. Indeed it must. We can rule out the possibility that the man shot himself. And that leads us to only one conclusion. Mr. Winterbank was shot by a 3rd gun, which can only have been fired by the 3rd intruder. Goodness! That's right, Mr. GRAYDON. The only person who could possibly have shot Mr. Winterbanks that night is you. Hold it! You little upstart. You made a grave mistake when you summoned me here. What? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, as you rightly say, I was there at the pawnbroker's. I did my best to hide the fact naturally. I had no intentions of ruining the distinguished career I had built for myself at the communications station. But did the thought never cross your mind? Did you never consider the possibility? What do you mean? What thought? What possibility? The possibility that if I was there at the scene, I may have witnessed the crucial moment? You see... This makes me a key witness in this case, and I have my hands firmly around the neck of your client. What? Are you suggesting? I saw it all. I saw the very moment the pickpocket girl pointed the gun at the poor defense's pawnbroker and shot him. Oh, that feels like a desperate lowball. What? Alright, I feel like we're gonna have easy evidence here. Order! Order! Well... it would seem we finally entered the last act of this theatrical trial. Mr. GRAYDON? Yes? I trust you are fully aware of the implications here. If it is shown that your claim is false, you will have incriminated yourself as the killer. Oh, I understand fully. Then I must ask you to give formal testimony once more. You will explain to the court precisely what you saw at the moment the defendant allegedly shot the victim. Nothing would give me greater pleasure. Alright, we're going to take him down this time. There's one last testimony. The moment of the shooting. While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance to the shop. When Winterbanks threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shot himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though. The accused in a black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. I saw the blood splatter all over that wretched girl. Then she tossed the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape. I don't think she had blood splatter on her, did she? Good gracious, this is quite extraordinary testimony. You claim, sir, under oath to have clearly seen the defendant pulling the trigger. Order! Order! It wasn't my intention to testify in this way. Neither is it my intention to be found guilty of a murder I didn't commit. So you see, my hand has been forced. I tell the truth now as an act of self-preservation. The truth? Until now, the prosecution was completely unaware of these details. Yes, well, sorry about that. Having shot me in the arm, the pawnbroker was then shot in the back by the accused. As I said, I was showered in his blood. You say the blood splattered over the accused's coats. Are you sure at that point? Oh yes, quite sure. All over the black overcoat that pickpocket girl was wearing at the time. Really? If her coat could somehow be shown to harbor vestiges of blood, that would be conclusive evidence here. Such an investigation is entirely possible, my lord. What? Only very recently, a German scientist has developed a technique to identify human blood. So here's to true science, not some amateur detective dubious foray into the world of chemistry. There's nothing more dubious about Hurley's work. His ideas are all sound. Ideas are no use to us here. In science, as in law, theories must be proven before they stand. In Germany, the technique has already been employed in the courtroom as the basis of evidence. Scotland Yard has a small quantity of chemical reagents used with your lordship's permission. We could shatter all vestiges of doubt within minutes. This doesn't look good, Runo. Why not? Well, we know, don't we, that there's blood all over the coat of Guinea's coat. If they test it with the chemicals... Oh, help, you're right. I was forgetting what happened yesterday. Don't move, Guinea. I'm about to shoot. I mean, we only see one color of blood here, but apparently that's not partly not holed up in the court. But that's not Mr. Winterbank's blood. That stain is from 2 months ago. That's Mr. Mason's blood from when he was stabbed by McGilded, who was wearing the coat at the time. My lord, the defense objects to the test proposed by the prosecution. Overruled. Lord Van Zeeks, make it so at once. With pleasure, my lord. And while we wait for the results, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination. Only once they find the blood on the overcoat, Gina will be... Counsel? Yes, my lord. Your cross-examination. Of course, my lord. If this cross-examination doesn't go well, if I don't manage to uncover some decisive evidence or a really compelling clue now, I have a very bad feeling about the outcome of this trial. Alright, gotta give it our all. Let's do a quick save up before we continue on, because you never know when my controller decides to just stop working all entirely, and the only way to fix it is to close the game entirely. I might as well just save at this. I don't know how to delete saves. So I have this third awkward one. Alright, the moments of the shooting. While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance of the shop. Mr. Winterbanks emerged from the storeroom, I believe. Ringo and Nash were scouring the counter when he suddenly appeared and flew at them. He already had the revolver in his hand. Fortunately, I wasn't too close. I've never been so scared in all my life. Yeah, we were just regular mild-mannered burglars, that's all. We don't like violence. Says the pair who carries the gun. What do you mean when you say you were near the entrance of the shop? I was in the doorway running my eyes over the shelf of forfeited items. Looking for the music box, of course. The broker went for Nash in the first place. Then Ringo joined in, making it 2 against 1, so I assumed they could handle the situation. But I was wrong. I was trying to help me, little bruv, but the gold geezer chucked me over the blooming counter. So I pulled me gun on the old fella, and that soon I made him scamper. The pair of you setting upon the poor defense pawnbroker together. Shame on you. Sorry, Gov. When Winterbanks threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. You mean that's the moment when you were shot? Yes, but I didn't immediately realize what had happened, of course. Things crashed to the floor from the counter as the 3 men were brawling. It was exactly at that moment it happened, so I didn't hear the gunshot. And the bullet went to strike to the counter and the wall behind you. So it would appear. When I looked at my arm, I saw I was bleeding badly, so I wrapped my handkerchief around it. Seeing as I couldn't explain what had happened to a doctor, I had no choice but to wait for it to heal. I didn't imagine it would still be bleeding 2 days later. Did Mr. Winterbanks intend to shoot you, do you think? Well, I don't imagine he'd even notice I was there, to be honest. Perhaps the gun went off accidentally. Anyways, it didn't quite strike home. When I pulled me gun on him, he tried to shove me out of the way. And then he scarpered through the door out the back. At which point, what did you do? I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the people in the door, though. You mean you chased after him? I don't recall the reason why, but I ran after him to the back of the shop. And what about the people in the door you mentioned? Well, surprisingly, the storeroom's door is a solid jar made of stout wood. But there's a small opening in about the head height that lets you see what's in there from outside. Actually, I should know that, shouldn't I? I looked through it myself that night. And what about you burgling brothers? Did you see what went on this people as well?
Yeah, no, likely. I didn't see nothing of the sort, Gov.
I doubt these 2 buffoons were even aware of the people's existence. So the Skulkin brothers were there, but they didn't see the killing of Mr. Winterbanks take place. Oh. Inside the storeroom, I could see the broker and that young girl standing there.
The defendant?
Yes, though neither of them noticed that I was looking. The girl raised her gun and pointed it straight at the man.
And then what did you see next?
The accused in the black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. Can I check something? Let me check this photo. I can't really say that photo would be... wait, what's the word? You know what I'm trying to say. Let's just press him on this. Yes, when the crime was discovered, the defendant was found with a gun in her hand. But that was Mr. Winterbank's gun, from which only a single bullet had been fired. And as we've already established, Mr. Graydon, that bullet was fired at you. But no. It wasn't the broker's gun that the pickpocket girl had when I saw her. Yes. The bullet from Winterbank's gun grazed my arm, and yes, the Skulkin brothers grounded the detective. But this was another gun entirely. A third gun. The broker's gun was not the murder weapon, so clearly there had to have been a third firearm involved. In other words, the accused must have had her own gun with her at the time. But no other gun was found at the scene. Calm yourself, counsel. Sorry? You must consider the events in order. At first I saw the broker and the girl glaring at each other, but then all of a sudden, the broker turned to run. And it was at that moment, the little girl rat shot him in the back. A chilling image, I must say. I saw the blood splatter all over the wretched girl. All over her? Yes. Through the people, I saw it clearly. Of course, the stains are visible now, with the coat being such a dark color. But I assure you, the garment is solid with the victim's blood. Well, it is solid with blood, that's for sure. But it's not Mr. Winterbank's blood, is it? No, that's right. It's Mr. Mason Milverton's blood. From when Mick Gilder stabbed him 2 months ago. It's so annoying. If they only accept Hurley's chemical analysis, we could prove that. But they won't, so unfortunately we can't use it as evidence to support our case. Father. Then she tossed the gun out of the people, so I picked it up and made my escape. What? She tossed the gun out of the people, so I picked it up and made my escape. So that means you have the gun? Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room? That's right, after the broker fell to the floor, she started walking over. Over where exactly? In the direction of the storeroom door to where I was watching. Of course I quickly retreated, and then the girl dropped the gun through the people onto the floor on my side of the door. But why on earth would she do such a thing? I couldn't tell you. Perhaps she was hoping to distance herself from the murder weapon. Without thinking, I picked it up. I suppose I worried just leaving it there, and more in case any more tragedies took place. So it was you, in fact, who took the third gun from the scene of the crime. Yes, it was yours truly. I left the clear up to my lackeys and left. Clear up? We made a bit of a mess around the counter, so Mr. Witchin and Flute here told us to tidy up. He thinks I'm blooming mum sometimes. Well, I was paying you enough, by God. Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket?
You little toe rag!
Oh my God, you little toe rag? What? You're like a bull at a gate, aren't you? What's going on here?
Excuse me.
Gentlemen! Something wrong, Sunshine? That should be my line. You do realize you were just violently shaking Mr. Skulkin. Maybe this needs a bit of Urulgen, ain't he? What's going on just now? You saw me grab me whistle. By the places he said, didn't you mention the third gun when you got down to the station? And why didn't you? Because we didn't know nothing about it, but that flaming peephole in the door. Sorry about that. I can be, prone to losing my rags sometimes. Not hurt, are you? God blame me, see the way he's looking at me? I'm telling you, this D gives me the willies. That was strange. The inspector doesn't normally get quite worked up as that. He wouldn't normally grab someone. No, that wasn't like Gregsy at all. He's normally all sweetness and light, no matter what I say to him. Yes, well, I think you might be a special case, Iris. Well, anyway, that was definitely out of character. Oh, my lord. Requesting your lordship permission to interrupt their cross-examination. Explain yourself, officer. I have the results of the test that was ordered earlier, my lord. Ah, the blood on the accused overcoats. Thank you, officer. Very well. The cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objections, counsel. No, my lord. Well, there you have it. The report, please, Inspector. Yes, sir. Traces of human blood were found on the overcoat of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. For the extent of the stains, it would appear that they were the result of splattering, overflowing a gunshot wound. End report. Goodness me. See, what did I tell you?
Objection.
No, the blood on the overcoat is not Mr. Windibank's. What on earth makes you say that, counsel? The coat originally belonged to Magnus McGilded. Just before his overcoat was deposited at Windibank's, Mr. McGilded had fatally stabbed Mr. Mason Milverton. So the blood on that overcoat is the blood of the brick maker from the omnibus case. Well, the dead cannot speak. Isn't that right, my Nipponese friend? Sorry? 2 months ago in this very courtroom, did you not argue fervently for Miss Gilded's innocence? And yet now that the man is dead, you brand him as the murderer? Your conduct shatters any shred of respect you may have earned for yourself in this country. But that was...
I call love, bodily disgrace, treachery, that's what it is.
Has it determined whether the blood on the coat is 2 months old or not? Even a stereoscope scope wouldn't help the answers to that problem pop out. It can't be done. But we use Mr. Sholmes' specially formulated chemicals.
Mr. Sholmes is a detective, not a chemist.
Would you put such faith in a chemical formula devised by me? For example, when I'm a communications officer, I held out pierogi to starving boy, and he ran away crying. Sherlock Sholmes is barely more than a figment of the public's imagination. His name carries no weight in this courtroom, no weight at all. How could you say that? Victory is sweet indeed. This proves that my testimony is the whole truth from start to finish.
How do you arrive at such conclusions, sir?
As the witness said, the accused coat was splattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. GRAYDON could possibly have known the fact is if he saw it happen. In other words, his testimony is solid and the conclusive is singular. It was the accused who shot the victim in this case. That is the whole truth. Ah! Oh, can something come up to help us in this very last moment? My lord!
My lord, been a long battle this one, but this old warhorse has something to say now, if you please. Mr. Foreman, as of this moment, sir, the squadron has reached its final decision. Ready, men, all forward now.
Sir!
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Oh, we're sounding guilty. Oh no, that's not good.
Well, it would appear the ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached a unanimous verdict.
The defense has consistently failed to unpick this witness' testimony. Here's to any attempts to you make at unpicking the jurors' decisions being equally successful. Are we seriously gonna do another cross-examination? I don't believe it. After I've come so far, how is it all unraveling on me so fast? Oh, it's gone dark. How very distressing to be held in such a low esteem. Who said that? Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruto?
Officer, you deliver the report now. That will be all, thank you.
It occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Naruto, that scientific truths are determined not by science, but by none other than the human mind. I know that voice. Am I going mad? Ah, Ah, I suspected. Where's that false mustache from? Mr. Sholmes? What is the meaning of this? Look at that pose. Order! Order! What business do you have here, detective? The last I heard, you were recuperating in the hospital. Alright, we're gonna have to stop this part here, but that was a unexpected turn of events. So, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Until then, I will see you all later. Goodbye.